how to work. Okay, well, good morning, folks. You're all very welcome back. I'd like to introduce Donna McKenna from Monaghan Mushrooms. She's the environmental manager. Monaghan Mushrooms are the world's the largest mushroom producer in Europe, and the second largest in the world, with operations across the world, 25 state-of-the-art facilities throughout Europe and North America. Donna's going to chat to us about Monaghan Mushrooms' journey to sustainability, both before and now moving forward with Origin Green. Over to you, Donna.
Thank you everyone for having me here today. As Conor says, my name's Donna McKenna and I work for Monaghan Mushrooms, and today I'm just going to talk a wee bit about our company, Monaghan Mushrooms, our company, our processes, our products, and then move on to the reason why we're all here today, our future in food, our environmental sustainability, what we have done, our success through sustainability, and indeed what happens next. Monaghan Mushrooms is one of the world's largest and most progressive fresh mushroom companies. We're the #1 mushroom substrate producer in the world, with producing in excess of 15,000 tonnes of phase 3 mushroom substrate every week. We're the #2 fresh mushroom producer in the world, producing, you can see here, 1.65 million kilograms of fresh mushrooms every week. Approximately 17% of that is actually from our Irish growing farms, 90% of which is actually exported to the UK. We've 29 locations worldwide within Ireland, the UK, Germany, Holland, Belgium and Canada. Within those facilities, we have 12 mushroom substrate production facilities, 17 growing farms and 8 pack houses. We have approximately 3,800 employees within our business, with a total of 41 different nationalities. So Monaghan Mushrooms is actually a vertically integrated agribusiness in that we control all different areas of the process, from mushroom substrate production, mushroom growing, mushroom harvesting, packing and distribution. So we're just going to give you a little bit of information about some of those processes. So it all starts off with mushroom substrate production, and this is a highly complex biological process, and it's made up of 3 main phases: phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. In the first stage, we actually take our straw bales, the big large straw bales, the 8x4x4s, and we dip or dunk those into a pit of nutrient-rich process water. And this process water obviously contains lots of nutrients, lots of bugs, which kick-starts the natural biodegradation process. After a day or two, whilst these bales heat up naturally, they're broken open and blended with the remaining raw materials in the process: horse manure, poultry manure, gypsum and ammonium sulphate. From there, the material is filled into large concrete bunkers, big huge vessels that are approximately 8 metres wide, 8 metres high and 40 to 50 metres long. And over the remainder of the phase 1 process, which is 11 to 12 days, this material is transferred every 2 to 3 days from bunker to bunker to give it an extra mix and to adjust any water application changes that the material might need. When the phase 1 process is complete, the material is removed from the phase 1 bunkers and filled into smaller phase 2 tunnels. But again, within the phase 2 tunnels, all similar to the bunkers, all the environmental conditions within are carefully controlled and monitored. This phase 2 process is a 6-day process, and a series of temperature changes occurs within the material. The most important temperature change within that process is pasteurisation, and this obviously kills off any unwanted bugs within the material and leaves the bugs that we want to keep there, leaves them living. Phase 2 is also very important for converting those nitrogen sources you see in our raw materials, the manures, into nutrients, which eventually be very important for the actual growth of the mushrooms. After the phase 2 process, then the material is removed from those tunnels and the mushroom seed or the mushroom spawn is added. And then they're refilled back into further tunnels, the phase 3 tunnels, and over the phase 3 period, which is approximately 15, 16, 17 days, optimum environmental conditions are created that will really encourage the mushroom spawn to grow within the substrate. Following the end of the phase 3 process, the material is removed and is dispatched then to our mushroom growing farms. In the mushroom growing farms, then the shelves you can see in the bottom right-hand picture, the mushroom growing farms have moved on over the years, and now they're a shelved system. So the shelves are filled with substrate and they're layered, topped off with peat. And peat is termed in the business casein, and it's a combination of various ingredients. You have peat, moss, sugar beet lime, gypsum, and so on. And this is very important actually for the stimulation of mushroom growth within the substrate, and also acts as a reservoir for water that will withhold the water to provide the mushrooms with the moisture as needed. The mycelium eventually develops into pins, and the pins then mature into mushrooms. The mushrooms are grown in flushes, and the first flush is typically seen then 16 to 17 days after the mushroom growing houses are filled. And in general, 2 to 3 flushes are harvested per mushroom house. And the mushrooms then are hand-picked with a one-touch technique, and they're placed directly into the market-ready containers and shipped off then to our pack houses. Mushrooms, as we know, have a very short shelf life, so they're actually harvested 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and the crops are always continuously in a cycle, so that there's always new mushrooms coming all year round. At the pack houses then, the products are obviously scanned for foreign objects, graded customer specification, and weighed, wrapped and packed. Following all these checks, then the product is loaded onto the 40-foot containers and dispatched to all our customer depots. And just to put it in context, approximately 75 lorries, 40-foot lorries, depart our pack houses every day. Just a little bit about our products then. Our products, well, we have the white mushroom. They come in a variety of sizes, as you know: button mushroom, flat mushroom, creamy white in colour and mild earthy flavour. We have our chestnut mushrooms, which are the browner mushrooms and have a deeper, earthier flavour. We have the large portobello mushroom, and these are our large, open, flat-capped mushrooms, again, a deeper, intense flavour. We also do a variety of organic mushrooms, which obviously no pesticides, fungicides are used, but really what makes them organic is that all the raw materials that I mentioned in relation to mushroom substrate production, all those raw materials are certified organic, so that's what makes the organic mushroom. We also have another product here, Forest Yard mushroom, and it is one of our more top-end products. It actually came about from developments made by our research and development department in recent years, and it's the closest commercially grown mushroom, I suppose, that would relate to, be typical of a wild mushroom. And it was actually the first agaricus variety of mushroom launched in the last 20 years, so it's certainly a bit of a success story for us. But now to bring us why we're all here today: environmental sustainability. Well, environmental protection is essential and it's expected. It's essential because, well, really, the earth is our home. It's a place of natural beauty. Our entire life support depends on the well-being of our planet. And I don't know about, well, I'm sure everybody else here, when we watched the video that Sharon showed earlier on, it brought goosebumps on my arms. There's a pride in our planet. Environmental protection is obviously very important to secure our future. Degradation of our environment actually threatens our natural resources, as we know, many of which are non-renewable. So luckily, we all are increasingly aware of this, and so too are our customers. So in that respect, environmental protection is actually expected by them. So if we want to be successful in our business, environmental sustainability has to be at the heart of the business. So within Monaghan Mushrooms, we strive to incorporate sustainability into all avenues of the business. And again, you see here the 3 main areas that we're familiar with from the Origin Green Charter: the raw materials, manufacturing processes, and social sustainability. So what is it that Monaghan Mushrooms have already done? Well, we've done many initiatives over the years, but I'll just give an outline of a few of them here today. In relation to energy management, since 2008, which we use as our baseline data, we've had significant energy reductions across all 3 main areas of our business. Obviously, you can see here we've had 11% reduction across mushroom substrate, and that's per tonne of substrate produced. Mushroom growing, we've had a 17% reduction per tonne of mushrooms grown, and mushroom packing, we have had a 14% reduction per tonne of mushrooms packed. So a lot of different initiatives have really led to those reductions, and I've just briefly bullet pointed a few. We operate using a sophisticated computerized vacuum control system for across all elements of our process, be it within the bunkers, the compost tunnels, the mushroom growing farms. And here we use this one system to really manage all elements of the process, all environmental conditions, and in doing so we do it in a very energy friendly manner. Within our Tyholland farm in County Monaghan, we installed larger heating and cooling batteries within the air handling unit there, and that meant it offset the heating required by the central boiler. It now only has to heat water to 40 degrees Celsius, whereas previously without these larger batteries it would have had to heat water to 70 degrees Celsius. Within our growing farm in Claremorris in Mayo, we installed a highly efficient cascade heating system, which helped us to reduce our energy there and also allowed us to make the switch on that particular site to natural gas. We also have other initiatives, high efficiency boilers, chillers, low energy lighting, and again, obviously, one of the most important ones is our awareness drive across the company and with individuals and the role they have to play in managing our energy. Also, we've been using 100% green energy from VU for almost 3 years now across all our Irish sites, and we've recently just signed up to another 2 years of that. So, just then in terms of water management, we have two main water conservation measures throughout our sites: water harvesting and automatic watering systems. Within all our mushroom substrate production facilities, we harvest 100% of surface rainfall, building rainfall and runoff capture. On our growing farms, then we actually do a combination or a variety of different things. For example, in our Kildare growing farm, we harvest 100% of runoff water, and in our Monaghan growing farm, we harvest 100% of building and rainwater. So it certainly does help reduce the actual usage of raw water that we need to use. Within all our growing farms then, we've installed automatic watering systems, and these allow us to have very strict control over how water is applied, the water usage, and really helps us to create optimum conditions within the material to allow the mushrooms to grow. You can see from the bottom photograph there that the nozzles are strategically placed just so that the spray is directed directly onto the mushroom bed, so it obviously they receive optimum water and it minimises wastage from falling on the floor. Another huge area in our business is odour management, and we've had huge investment in our Carberry site in County Kildare in recent years in terms of odour management. Traditionally, compost or mushroom substrate production is undertaken outdoors in windrows, and what we did now, we have a state-of-the-art facility in Carberry whereby we've implemented the highest quality of infrastructure and technology, and this includes, we constructed a raw material storage hall to store all our raw materials, which by nature are quite odorous, your manures. We have a raw materials mixing hall, which is part of the blending process. We constructed 10 large concrete bunkers, underneath which is a network of pipes that we force air up through the material, and in a bid to keep the material in an aerobic state to again try and reduce odour and also produce good quality compost. We have all our process water, our runoff water runs to our process water storage tank, and that tank, the material is screened before being entered into the tank. The tank is covered and it's aerated by a submerged aeration system. From all those areas then that I've just mentioned, they're covered and air is extracted from them, and it's brought back to our most recent piece of technology, which is installed earlier this year, our acid scrubbers and biofilter, and all the air that's brought back from those areas then passes through the acid scrubber where the ammonia is removed from the airstream, because the ammonia actually will kill the bugs within our biofilter, and the air then passes on and filters up through the biofilter, and the biofilter is 1,800 square metres in size, so it's a significant size, and again, if you were to stand on top of it, you get a wet, woody, inoffensive smell. So that's what we've done in terms of odour management. I'll speak a little bit just about biodiversity. Biodiversity, as we know, is about the variety of life among our plants, our animals, our microlife. At Monaghan Mushrooms, over the years, we've implemented many biodiversity programs in a bid to really lessen the impact of our developments, our operations, our processes on nature and on wildlife. It's very important that we all play our part really to not only protect but enhance habitats and ecosystems. It's actually not a very expensive thing to do. You can see here we've log piles, board boxes, vegetation, even leaving areas to grow wild, all have huge benefits for our wildlife. Another important area we find that will secure our future in food is our recently launched R&D department, and that was launched in 2010 because at Monaghan Mushrooms we feel we can always do better. So this was launched as it's across three main areas, three main research programs within that centre: compost casing and microbiology, food science and technology, and the biosciences. And really this centre is focused on delivering research-led, commercially driven innovation to our customers. They work closely with universities and other research institutes in a bid really to try and grow the global mushroom market and provide the products that the customer wants. So an example of this was the forestier mushroom, which I spoke about earlier. And again, as I said, it's actually the first agaricus variety of mushroom launched in over 20 years. So that's one success story. Another is actually, I'll outline on my next slide, which is about health and nutrition of our products. Now, luckily for us, our products are actually they don't stop at being tasty. They're actually a very healthy and nutritious product. One portion of mushrooms counts as one of your 5 a day. They are a vitamin heavyweight. They're packed full of vitamins, mainly the B complex vitamins. They're a source of many essential minerals, potassium, selenium, copper, which are all important for blood function. Mushrooms contain natural compounds called statins, which I believe are important for inhibiting the absorption of bad cholesterol. And one portion of mushrooms contains over 3 grams of high quality protein. So you might be familiar that among vegetarians, sometimes mushroom is deemed as a vegetarian's beefsteak because of the closest vegetable that comes to the taste and texture of meat, and also they're highly nutritious in terms of protein. Obviously, ambition within Monaghan Mushrooms to increase the health benefits of our products. Our R&D centre have come up with vitamin D mushrooms, and vitamin D, as we know, is the sunshine vitamin, and vitamin D is important for calcium absorption, which again is important for our teeth, our bones and muscle function. And mushrooms act very much like our bodies in that they absorb sunlight and convert it into vitamin D, which is fine for wild mushrooms, but as we know, commercially grown mushrooms are grown in the dark, so it doesn't help there. So what our R&D centre have come up with, they've devised a method whereby they can enhance the vitamin D content of mushrooms by exposing them to UV light in a very controlled manner, which enhances the content. And just one portion of these mushrooms, just 3 of those 6 mushrooms you see there, contains all your vitamin D daily requirements. And this product was launched on the 6th of September this year in 200 Marks and Spencer stores across the UK. Just another area that we feel is very important in terms of environmental sustainability is that of social sustainability. And just to outline Monaghan Mushrooms in the community and what they get involved in, both Monaghan Mushrooms and the employees are very much focused on participating and place huge emphasis on participating within the community. Many of the employees themselves undertake to fundraise in various events, cycle events, runs, walks, barbecues, coffee mornings and so on. And very often actually on those occasions the funds that are raised by our individual employees are very often matched by the company. So the charity involved actually receive double of what was raised. In addition to that, the company donate to national and international charities on a regular basis. They also have been the main sponsor of our local GAA team for over 20 years and regularly sponsor other events such as Aaron McKenna here on the bottom left. We sponsored him to go to the World Boxing Championships in Kansas. So things like that. But we also do believe that giving back isn't always necessarily related to money and fundraising and donations. It's also about creating opportunities for our people and anyone who's interested in really learning more. And I suppose the most obvious area in which we do this is our graduate programme. And this was launched in 2011, and Monaghan Mushrooms work in partnership with the Irish Management Institute for this. It's a 2-year programme, 1 year based in Ireland and the second year based abroad. And since 2011, 38 graduates have come through the programme in all different areas, from sales, finance, HR, R&D, engineering, anywhere within the company you can think of, and most of them are still employed within the company today, and in some of them in pretty senior positions. But in addition to the graduate programme, we also have opportunities for work placements for transition year students, university students and so on, and we always welcome group visits or even individual visits and tours from anyone really that's interested in coming and learning a wee bit more about our business. So that's really all, or some of the environmental sustainability initiatives that Monaghan Mushrooms have undertaken over the years. So really, what has that meant for us, or how has our environmental sustainability benefited or given us success as a business? Well, as we know, environmental protection is expected. You're not going to have the highest customer base you can possibly have unless you have environmental sustainability at the core of your business. For Monaghan Mushrooms, we have an international client base. We supply 5 of the world's top 10 food retailers, Asda, Tesco, Lidl, Aldi and Revi, which is a German-based supermarket chain. We're the leading mushroom company in the UK. We actually have approximately 56% of the market share across the entire UK, and the UK is Europe's largest fresh mushroom market. We actually, in the top right-hand corner, we actually have 20% of Irish mushroom market share, 20% of the Canadian market share, and more recently 7% of the German market share. So indeed, these customers here, they all have their own sustainability programmes within their own businesses, be it Sainsbury's with their 2020 sustainability plan, Asda, green is normal, M&S with their plan A because simply there is no plan B. And so they obviously take their environmental performance seriously. And it's no coincidence then that Monaghan Mushrooms we have 75% supply of mushrooms into Asda. We supply 75% of Sainsbury's mushrooms to them also, and we actually supply 100% of Marks and Spencer's mushrooms to them. And we certainly wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't take our environmental responsibilities seriously. But it doesn't stop there. It never stops. What happens next for us is we've recently submitted our plan to Origin Green. It's under review at the moment. I've received feedback on it there this week, so we'll be progressing with that. We've placed targets in 6 main areas: mushroom packaging, peat usage, waste, biodiversity, energy and social sustainability. It's certainly not an easy plan we've put upon ourselves, but it most definitely will be worthwhile. I suppose then, just to finish up, my closing thought would be that this really is our opportunity to work together, really to bring success to Irish food and to really secure our future as global contenders in the Irish food market. And we do it as a nation. We're Irish. Thank you.